Good evening, good evening, everyone. We give everybody an opportunity to enter. I know it's early on a Friday. What we got going on to kill time? Um, in the meantime, I could just talk about the fact that it is Social Workers Month. It is Women's History Month. And I just happened to just look at the unfortunate news. I didn't read it all. I just saw the headline of the social worker that was shot at the Jasper VA mental health clinic. We do a lot of work in the community that puts our lives in danger. So, I'd like to send my condolences to that family. Um, Very unfortunate. Um, what else we got going on out there um, that I can talk about? In this month of March, let's see. Let me move this over while I kill time. Kill time. There are so many things that I can talk about, but I don't want to talk about it on this channel. Not on this channel. We're gonna try to keep you know what I can talk about? I can talk about the recently the fact that my husband and I did a panel at BlurredCon. That is the Black Nerd Convention that is held every year here in Washington, D.C. If you are a client of mine or just someone who is familiar with me and in my circle, as well as familiar with my husband, then you know that we have talked about capoeira. Capoeira is the Afro-Brazilian martial art, and it involves you moving your entire body. How that fits for us is that fact right there. You get your entire body moving. Not only that, it helps you with your executive function. You play musical instruments. And with that, you have to learn to play the instrument at the same time as you're listening to the instruction, at the same time that you are moving your body. How does that help you in the mental health sphere? Right? That would be your question. Well, I'm glad you asked. As I am doing somatic therapy, right, you want to learn to get in tune with your body, right? And what you do on one side, you do to the other. So with all of the movements that you're doing in capoeira, you are getting in tune with your body and how you feel. And as the drums are beating, as the music is going, as you are getting in tune to the commands of the songs and of the music, um, you get your dopamine going, your oxytocin going, your brain is thinking. You get your left and your right brain. The left and right hemispheres of your brain are working in tandem with one another. Um, what else can we talk about? I would like to know. Um, I've put out some video shorts about wanting and needing to be the strong person and understanding that sometimes when you try to be the strong person, you are often ignoring what your body is telling you in order to continue doing the thing that you feel that you need to do and want to do. You could be feeling a little disappointed, you could be feeling a little sad, your stomach could be feeling upset, and all these other physiological symptoms that your body is telling you, but you're ignoring it because you feel like, I'll deal with that later. And even the simple fact of not eating, your body is letting you know that you're hungry. You need to take a moment to pause and just feed yourself. But because we feel like we have to be so strong, we push through. We push through that. But we have to take a moment to do those simple small things of taking a bite to eat, drinking some water, pausing and walking away from the work of the day. Um, yeah, it isn't necessarily the best thing to ignore what is going on and what is happening in our lives. Those are small signs and symptoms. And if there's anybody out there who still believes that doesn't mean anything, I would like for you to put that in the chat once people get signed in. And I definitely do not want to try to hold this for very long. It's Friday and people got things to do. People may have forgotten about this, and people may not even care about this gift card. But I definitely have the wheel. The wheel is ready to be spun, and I just want to spin the wheel and give you your day back, your evening, should I say. Let's see. Definitely, we can always talk about AI, but we're not going to do that. Financial stress and mental health. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very active one. Oh, proactive and preventive care. We want to make sure that we take a shift from reactive treatment to early intervention and including increased mental health screening similar to physical health checks. That kind of flows into or coincides to what I was just saying earlier about realizing and understanding the physiological symptoms, right? So first of all, if you pause and realize what your body is saying to you and listen and follow through, that is also a part of being proactive and preventive. If you have been listening and your body has been telling you, let's just say for a week, you've been having these stomach pains and you just can't figure out why. Have you been taking that pause? Have you been feeding yourself? Have you been going to bed at a very logical time? Well, now you should probably go see your doctor. Be proactive. Don't wait until things get, horribly wrong for like 3 months and stuff like that. Be proactive. Do a little bit of research here and there. I do not want to bore you all. Those of you who will be watching this later, definitely don't want to bore you because my thing is only telling me that there is no one there. But just so you all can see, I will share my screen. And just for the heck of it, let's see. There's the wheel that has all the names on it. I'll draw one name. One name and a contact. All right. Liam C. All right. So I will remove a Liam C. And this is for a $5 Dunkin' gift card. So I do believe all of these names that I put on here, you have given me some type of either email or something. And so just for those of you who actually stuck around for 10 minutes, I will contact Liam C. I have other Dunkin' gift cards and 2 Target gift cards. But those of you who stuck around, thank you. And thank you those of you who did actually fill out the thank you for filling out this survey. So why did I even have this survey? So I did this survey because as I was both times for both of my 2 states, while I was getting my full licensure, I was running into a little bit of complications, although I have read the regulations thoroughly. I've completed all the paperwork, and you run into these complications, and then it seems like it's a 1-for-1 problem, because when you go to the licensing board meetings, they explain things, and then you can't ask questions if you're not there on the behalf of some group. And it's like nickel and diming to get answers. So, all right, so you'll fill out the paperwork. I completed the hours well over the amount of required hours. And so just trying to understand when you're like at the LG level, right? And you're working at 2 different places at the same time, as a lot of us often tend to do, because 1, you need the money. But then you find out that like your hours doesn't count, be it your clinical hours tend to count, but your weeks of employment don't count. And so you're trying to get that in order to get enough hours and enough weeks of employment. It gets to be so bothersome, because then you have to work even longer just so that you have the weeks of employment. It just seemed like such an individual thing, but because it was for 2 jurisdictions, I wanted to see how many other people out there were running into either that specific issue or other issues, because surely there are other social workers out there who work at more than 1 place while they are trying to acquire their license. It has to be more than 1 person, other social workers who have, of course, more than 1 supervisor, right? Obviously, if you're working in 2 different places, and there's other social workers who are licensed in more than 1 jurisdiction, which means you have to understand more than one's jurisdiction's regulations. And so that was the point of the survey. I considered what my next steps would be, which was to like kind of form some type of think tank or something like that, and maybe speak to the boards. But because since that time, a lot more states have come along and joined the social work multi-state compact, I'm not certain if that is really necessary. But if you are actually still watching this at 13 minutes, please provide me your feedback. Let me know what you think, particularly if your state has not joined on to the compact yet. What do you think about this? And I'll give you all back your day. And again, to Liam C., I will contact you. Everybody else, thank you for your participation. Thank you for watching. And you all have a great Social Workers Month. Take care. Bye-bye.